Are you stuck choosing between a GPS Personal Locator beacon and an InReach Mini Device by Garmin?
Wondering which device would work best for your needs? What is the most cost-effective option, and in which case you would want to splurge?
We researched and tried them both to help you make the best informed decision.
The PLB is essentially an emergency beacon that uses satellite and GPS. You are in the middle of nowhere, you get in trouble, you hit the button, and someone comes rescuing you. They also work worldwide, so you can take them wherever you go. All you need to do is register your PLB with a national agency once, and that's free. PLB uses Cospar-Sarsat agency, a multinational, government-supported, worldwide search and rescue, and this is the same system that is invoked if a plane crashes or a boat is sinking. Cospar-Sarsat uses all three satellite groups, low, middle and high orbit satellites. This means that any distress signal will be reliably transmitted through thick bush from the bottom of crevasse where you were unfortunate to fall into, from a deep rocky gorge, in a matter of seconds. It ensures instant location signaling.
In New Zealand, when a PLB is activated, it will send a signal to a satellite, which then notifies the nearest ground station that passes it to the Mission Control Center and then to the local Rescue Coordination Center. There is a very similar mechanism for each country. Garmin's InReach SOS service uses the global Iridium satellite network to contact a private response company operating 24/7 in the majority of countries. That private company determines where you are and then contacts the relevant search and rescue authority in your country. Iridium uses low-orbit satellite, which offers a good global coverage but may require for you to wait for the Iridium satellite to get directly above you in some cases, like that one when you have fallen into the crevasse. This may take up to 15 minutes, which isn't that bad. In most cases, the InReach gets routine messages out under very challenging settings, like deep canyons with continuous redwood forests. So overall, this shouldn't be a concern.
You also need to remember that the SOS is received by a private firm, GEOS, who then need to pass it to the local authorities. Generally, both PLB and InReach will contact the same local authorities. However, in the US realities, since the PLB rescues is coordinated by the US Air Force for inland rescues, you might have a better chance at getting an Air Force evacuation if local authorities are busy with other SARS cases. GEOS probably has to jump through more hoops to make it happen, if they can at all. As one of our friends said, discussing this topic, who do you trust more, the government or the private industry? It's a bit cynical and both parties are serious and professional, but those are really the two flavors here.
If you want the most absolute reliable way of sending an SOS signal, carry a PLB.
PLB has a built-in battery lasting 5 to 6 years. When you purchase a PLB, you will have an expiry date. Once this date has passed, you will need a new battery installed, and depending on your home country, it will cost you from $100 to $200. The PLB will broadcast the distress signal for 28 hours, which should be enough for the rescuers to find you. So you can carry your PLB around without worrying about the battery life until that expiry date. The newer models have the battery lasting for 10 years, which makes your life even easier.
The actual battery life of Garmin InReach depends on the device settings, such as message checking intervals. The battery life can last from 35 to 90 hours. Also, it repeatedly warns when the battery starts getting too low to ensure that you can preserve the SOS functions. If your InReach is used for regular communications, you will run the battery down quicker. You can generally keep it charged with a power bank, but you would need to arrange for it and carry it separately.
How long will your distress signal broadcast after you activate it? If the weather is bad or your location is remote, a rescue operation can take days. Generally, rescues are at minimum several hours. It's important that you have enough juice in your device to be found. If you check your battery expiry date regularly, PLB will give you better peace of mind, allowing you to worry less about charging your primary SOS signaling device like InReach.
PLBs are designed only for one-way distress signals. There is no such functionality as two-way communication, so pretty much nothing to talk about here. Garmin InReach Mini, though, offers two-way texting services to emergency and family, also offers weather reports on demand. Running late and don't want your loved one to worry? Send them a check-in message. You forgot to update someone and they're wondering where you are? They send you a message and check what's going on. Also, there are big advantages to being able to communicate with rescuers and coordinate the entire operation.
There was a recent New Zealand story from mom and daughter hikers featured in the Wilderness magazine. Victoria and Emily saw a couple passing them on the trail and staying in the next hut 7 kilometers away. The next morning, the husband came back to them saying that his wife was unwell the whole night, vomiting. On meeting, Victoria, with a Garmin device, decided to trigger the SOS function, and following a two-way communication with the operator, it was decided that a rescue was the best course of action. So a helicopter was called out to the other hut's location.
InReach has a small screen and the virtual InReach keyboard is slow and tedious, but it works. You can always set up the pre-programmed messages before your big trip and only use the keyboard in the case of emergency. You can do everything from the device and leave your phone at home. Regarding the weather forecasts, from what we've seen and heard, it works really well for the US and some other countries. However, for the realities of New Zealand, these weather updates received via InReach weren't that precise. This is potentially because the weather forecasts are taken from the global sources as opposed to the more precise local Met services. Carrying the InReach makes your partner and parents feel better about your trips, and if you are a responsible partner or parent yourself, carrying the InReach is a must.
No monthly subscription for a PLB. You need to register with a national agency once and you are done. The service is free and there is no subscription needed to invoke a rescue. You will need to pay for the cost of the device, which is approximately $500. It will offer you 5-year battery life, with additional $200 needed to replace a battery after that time. So let's say for the 10 years of use you will end up paying approximately $750.
With Garmin it's quite a different story, because you need to have an active subscription to use any features including the SOS function. The device cost will come up to $600. Now onto the Garmin subscriptions. Garmin offers 3 different levels of plans: safety, recreation and expedition. There is a nice little chart comparing the plans to each other, and for the most part it's fairly easy to understand. All 3 levels can be purchased on either an annual or monthly, they call it the Freedom Plan, basis. If my math is correct, the 6-7 month mark is the tipping point. If you use your device 6 months or less, then a monthly plan is for you. If you use it more than 7 months, then get an annual plan. Garmin Freedom monthly plans can be turned on and off by the month. For the safety plan you will be charged $25 per month on Freedom and $20 per month on annual. For the recreation plan, $59 per month on Freedom and $42 per month on annual. For the expedition plan, $109 per month on Freedom and $85 per month on annual. Additionally, you will be charged one-time activation fee of $54 for your annual plan and $64 program fee each year if you choose a Freedom plan.
Now let's do a simple math. Assume you go for a 5 months Freedom option and you choose the cheapest safety plan. You will pay $64 program fee each year, $25 multiplied by 5 months is $125, so total $189 per year. Multiply that by 10 years and it will be almost $1,900. And if you add the cost of the device, it comes down to a whopping $2,500. If you're not at this stage of life where your loved ones demand of you an ability to check on your whereabouts and regularly communicate with you, then a PLB is a much cheaper option, $700 across 10 years. On the other hand, giving your partners, children and parents peace of mind is priceless and will be totally worth paying $2,500 over 10 years.
Are you price sensitive? Usually going on challenging alpine missions, heading into the mountains for weeks, or regularly looking up off the beaten track hiking adventures? In that case, the safest answer would be to get a PLB. It's the single best possible way to get help to you in an emergency. So this is a must regardless of your desire to have a two-way communication. You can always invest into InReach on top of the PLB to enjoy all other additional functionalities.
You don't care about the price, want to communicate with your loved ones, and mostly walk established routes and tracks where you occasionally bump into other people? Then, having Garmin InReach Mini at your disposal will be the most useful thing you've ever dreamt of. That being said, PLBs are also available to hire in case when you are heading to a challenging mission once in a blue moon.